So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. In this episode, I'm going to tell you 10 reasons why you need the Galaxy S23. The first one is this phone is pretty much in a league of its own for the price point when it comes to kind of like the whole package of specification. When you compare it to something like its closest competitor, the iPhone 14, this phone has a triple camera, a sleeker design, an arguably better display, and well, not arguable. With the 120 hertz, it is the better display. Punch hole camera up there. The overall phone is just about as fast, has similar cooling. I mean, overall, for this price point, the Galaxy S23 is just, I think, a better package when it comes to specification than, again, its closest competitor in terms of price point, which is the iPhone 14. The second reason is the design is fresh. So the overall design of this phone just looks nice. We have a clean aluminum edge here. The back feels very nice. It's like a matte feeling glass here. The camera is very symmetrical. It comes straight down. And then you'll see just all around the board, it's just a very clean, classy, polished feel to the phone. In addition to that, it feels premium. It has comfortable ergonomics, which means that holding it in the hand is super comfy. It's like a good size without being too small. So take it for what it is. That's kind of how I perceive this phone. Just very, good size, good feel in the hand, and gets most of the jobs done you need to get done. And funny enough, even Apple's largest, phone cannot do split screen. Well, this phone can do split screen and pop view with no problem. So, I mean, you can do multitasking on here even at this size. So that's pretty good. The next one is display at number 3. The display is beautiful, it's smooth, and it's vibrant. So you can just totally expect the display panel on here to be amazing. Now, you also have different abilities to tweak this display, which also can put it in a reason why you'll need this phone. You can put it in standard or adaptive, but that's not a big deal. What you can do here is you can go vivid or natural, and you can really tweak it around to be too warm or cool if you like it like that. You also have advanced settings like RGB settings right there. In addition to that, you have this nice enhanced comfort mode. Now, this is not like True Tone, which would be like Eye Comfort Shield over here, but you have this enhanced comfort mode on this device, which is really good. Now, you also have extra brightness, which is something you don't find on this device or other devices where you can really just get the full brightness out of them. So that's really good. So if you want to take advantage of that full peak brightness it does have, you have that. But again, just having the Eye Comfort Shield along with this enhanced comfort mode you can really dial in how you want this display to look. And not only that, it's also just a really good panel. Now, it is 1080p, but that makes up for it in the battery life. And also, even though this is 1080p, this phone has a really nice looking colors, really nice looking overall sharp text. So it's not bad. It's over 400 pixels per inch at this size. So it's pretty good. Now, number 4 is going to be the triple camera system. Now, the reason why I'm putting it here is because you're getting cameras that more like rival an iPhone 14 Pro for several $100s less. Now, what I mean by this is that you can go super far on the zoom here, 3 times optical, but not only that, you have 10 times zoom, you have 20x zoom, and 30x zoom. And those zooms are actually quite usable. Yes, they do get a little bit blurry at the furthest, but still that amount of zoom is pretty versatile. Also, what's nice about this triple camera system is that you can take advantage of things you wouldn't expect, like expert RAW modes, pro modes, and pro video modes, which I actually have down here. So you have a phone that is marketed as just the regular S23, but it's giving you features that you would expect in a professional grade phone. So this is more than a good camera. This is a great camera offering for this price point. And unless you need the bigger display, why not save some cash on a lot of phones out there, get this one and have cameras that rival phones that cost over $1,000. This is excellent value. Now, the next one on here on my list is number 5, and that's going to be that this phone has a very dependable battery life I've experienced over my time using it. Now, if we go down device care, you'll find battery life that just lasts on this phone for its size. It's not going to be more than a day, but it gets through a day and it's pretty dependable. It's around 3,900 milliamp hours. So, and here's the kicker. Last year's Galaxy S22 was not quite as strong in the battery department. But this one I find with its new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for this thing on here, and also, having the optimizations with One UI, Android 13, Samsung has really found a way to improve the actual, battery life experience. They've also improved the percentages. So like what I mean by this is the percentages of standby time. That's what I should have said, standby time. The percentages go down a little bit slower on standby time. So definitely all around, just a very dependable battery life smartphone right here in the Galaxy S23. That's for sure going in at number 5. Now, number 6 is going to be, this phone has faster charging and reverse wireless charging, but faster charging than its closest competitor, the iPhone 14. So that's a good thing. It's not as fast as the biggest Galaxies out there, which are like 45 watt, but it's faster than its closest competitor. I still wish it was a little faster, but the ability to reverse wireless charge on this phone puts it a step ahead of the competition in that area as well. So definitely I find this to be a pretty good phone for battery charging, wireless charging. It's a good experience. It feels top of the line, even though it's not top of the line price point. So again, offering up a pretty solid value here. The next one, I don't know if you've watched some of my speed tests with this phone, but it's been a stunner in performance. I mean, it's even beat some iPhones out there in performance. And now Samsung is no longer providing phones that have choppy animations. So really good animations here. We'll have to see how the Galaxy A54 does. That's more of a mid-ranger, but this more premium phone here definitely is holding its own in the performance department. So I definitely do like this about this device. So I think you will too. Is this a really, really strong performer? Not only in just opening applications, but also in the reload of applications. So this device, you need it if you want great performance. You really do. You're going to love it. I don't care if you're coming from an iPhone or you're coming from a Samsung phone of past, like an older one. You're going to really love how this thing performs. They've nailed it. They've knocked it out of the park. There's also something good about the performance here as well, and that it does have better heat management than before. This is critical because a phone that heats up too much is a very uncomfortable experience. And sometimes if you have a thin case on there, you could still feel that heat. For me, the Galaxy S22 had a little bit more heat problems than this one. So this one's much better in terms of the heat. Not that it was horrible, but it just wasn't, it got warm way more than this phone. So this phone feels comfy to use all day long, no matter how you're using it. I mean, if you take any smartphone in the sunlight and you blast in the sunlight, and of course it's going to warm up, but this phone right here, day to day, just feels comfy in the hand. Even if you're not using a case, it doesn't warm up too much. Now, number 8 is going to be the One UI 5.1 software. Now, the software on here is very, I'm going to say feature rich, but also simple if you want it to stay simple. It's refined, it's polished, and it's also, again, feature packed. So you can have a lot of fun here in the advanced features section of here, including Samsung's experimental features in labs, like multi-window for apps, full screen and split screen view. You also have swipe to pop view and swipe for screenshot. Wait, was that screenshot? Split screen. So you have a lot of experimental features as well. I really like this old classic screenshotting feature with Samsung phones. I use that quite a bit when I'm using these. One-handed mode is available, and the list goes on down here. Now, no S Pen support on here. Not that a lot of people actually use S Pen, and it wouldn't be very useful on this smaller phone. But if you take a look, also when scrolling down, it's also simple. Like, things are color-coded or colored icons right there, and it's not that difficult. Display, wallpapers, themes, like it's not too much to learn here. I think they've simplified things. Up here, it can get a little bit convoluted. It's going to take a little time to set up these up here the way you want them, but you have Dex on board as well. That's not going to go in this list. We already talked about Dex before in this list of why you need it, but you have that option if you want to go ahead and do that. Now, at number 9 is going to be something that you probably didn't expect, an improved selfie camera. So selfie cameras are important for people who are doing social media and they want to, show their life and whatever on social media. Having a crappy selfie camera, even when you're taking group pictures and stuff like of people, it's not a good experience. But Samsung has improved this. For Android phones, this is going to be one of the better options on the market. Not only did they improve the skin tones, they give you options to change those skin tones as well, color tones and stuff like that. And I also found that the front-facing camera looks better in social media as well as the rear camera. So that's a pretty sizable upgrade there as well. Now, also at number 10, this is going to be my final one, is the peak brightness is 1750 nits. Now, if you go up here to the brightness up here, you click this hamburger menu right there, those 3 dots, you'll see they do include that extra brightness mode right there in the settings for you to go ahead and take advantage of. Now, this is crucial because you don't have to wait for it. Adaptive brightness will hit that brightness, but sometimes if it's not working the way you want it to, or you just need that extra brightness right now, you get that option. It does use up more battery, obviously, you're jacking up the brightness, but at the same time, just having this ability and having a 1750 nit peak brightness on this phone, you're not going to find a lot of phones that get that bright at this price point. And that's crucial when you're outdoors in sunlight or when you just need some more brightness. I always think the ability to have really low brightness, which you have on here, incredible high brightness, and if you go over here, you have extra dim to really dim that thing down if you don't want to see it too much, really elevates a phone's display experience because it has a lot of variability in what you can do with that brightness. It just really takes it to the next level and feeling like a premium phone. When you get a phone that doesn't get bright enough, it just feels like it's lacking something, or if it doesn't get dim enough, it just annoys you at nighttime. This phone doesn't do either of those in either way. So in conclusion, those are my 10 reasons why you need the Galaxy S23. At this point, I feel like if you don't even consider this phone, it's simply because you don't like Samsung or you're not open-minded to give them or this phone a shot. You're just like, I don't like Samsung, I don't want it. And that's okay, I respect that. But you got to give credit where credit's due. They nailed this one, they knocked it out of the park, and I really don't have much bad at all to say about it. I would like to see a full display with no punch hole. That would be an amazing upgrade. I do think they can always improve battery life if there's ways to do it. They can work around that. And they probably can get thinner bezels if they really want to push it to the edge. Like, of course, we still have a little bit of a bezel there. That could go away if they really want to push it. But other than that, there's not too much wrong with this phone. It's a near perfect smartphone for people who enjoy the One UI and Android experience. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. I'll catch you all in the very next episode, and peace.